Carson, thank you so much for coming tonight, and I'm pretty excited about this panel. I think it's like so needed. Obviously security's needed in everything, but I'm particularly passionate about FinTech at the moment, and so I think obviously it's really needed in that domain. And I'm also excited because you're a serial entrepreneur, you've told me, and I guess you've just got a ton of experience and little tips that you can give us. But to start with, I was wondering if you could tell me what led you to build the startup that you're in now, and what is your main passion at the moment?
Sure. So 6 startups, that's correct, and a lot of them have been around information security for FinTech. So it's something I've done a lot of work with. I did a work with FinTech as well when I was with RSA, so have been sort of large and small FinTech organizations. I guess the thing that sort of drives me to continue to work in that space is that the information security threat continues to grow, and as I've seen over the last 20 years of doing information security, it's a massive economic issue. It creates a lot of economic challenges. It stands to potentially disrupt our economic systems, and to me, that makes it a very important topic to focus on.
And obviously the incumbents would see it as a major piece, correct? Like the banks, financial.
Oh, absolutely, of course. And I think that the challenges that the financial services organizations have that we're focusing on at CloudPassage right now is really around the scale and speed of technology development. If you talk to many financial services organizations, they'll say that they're really software shops who happen to be in financial services. So huge amounts of technology involved, obviously. And with cloud tech, agile tech sort of taking over the world, the speed with which they develop technology creates potential risk, and how they handle that is very critical, which is where we focus on automation at levels that we haven't had in the industry before.
So tell me, what's your vision of the future? Like, where are we now and where do we need to go?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think at this point, probably where we are today is in a place where, again, new technologies have really disrupted the way that technology gets delivered. This cloud, mobile, these things are the biggest disruption collectively that we've seen since client-server took over from mainframes. And when you have a big turnover, a significant evolution in the way IT gets delivered generally, it creates a lot of challenges around all the adjacencies. Security is one of the most important adjacencies because that creates risk. So where we are today is in a period of relative instability for information security and FinTech and other industries. Financial services are probably the most challenged because they have the most technology of many industries, and they definitely the most heavily regulated. So how they get on top of this is a big question. Where we need to be relative to that problem, I would posit that leveraging these kinds of technologies, leveraging things like DevOps, cloud infrastructure, cloud services, this actually enables the banking security organizations to increase their own leverage for their people. People is a huge issue in tech right now, and in information security tech in particular. So anything around automation, around leveraging DevOps, leveraging these new models to make security better, I think is very important. In the next 3 to 5 years, I think that's going to be CISO's big challenge and potential win for what they do.
And I guess we could have a whole panel on this, but where do you think the blockchain fits in this? Do you think this is going to add to security?
To be determined. We'll leave it at that.
So tell me, do you have a funny story in your 6 startup career?
Yeah, sure. We'll stick with cloud since that's kind of the hot topic. I can relate a story. A friend actually who was a CIO at one of the financial service organizations when we started the company about 6-7 years ago. We were talking one day and I was sort of trying to get his take on cloud, and he was certain that there was no cloud in this bank, no way. And I sort of half-jokingly challenged him to check his developers' expense reports and see, if there were cloud services there. And we got together a couple months later, and he said he actually did that. And the finance department was very curious because there was no cloud service, but these developers must be incredibly smart guys because they're buying so many books from Amazon. So there's actually enormous amounts of cloud, and no one really knew it. So kind of a funny story, but it does sort of point to the problem that there's been a bit of a revolt in some parts of IT industries where business units want to go faster, they have to do this thing, and they'll find a way to do it.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, and thanks for coming. I can't wait to hear the panel. I'm sure you're all going to be fantastic.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.